Français 4, expression négative. We're going to be talking about some negative expressions, and some of these may be familiar to you, but there may also be a few new ones. The ones I know you are familiar with are these. Ne pas, which is the general not. If you just want to make something negative in French, all you have to do is put ne pas around the verb. Ne jamais is how you say never. When using ne pas in ne jamais, you're going to put ne before the verb and the second part after the verb. If it is a two-verb sentence, for example, a conjugated verb plus an infinitive, you want to say you're going to do something, you have to do something, you can do something. You're going to put the expression around the conjugated verb. It's the same thing in English. We say I can't with our second verb. In French, you say je ne peux pas with the second verb. If the verb is in a compound tense, such as the passé composé, the expression goes around the helping verb. The ne goes before the helping verb and the second part after the helping verb. So some of these other expressions you may also have seen, but they might be new. Ne aucun or aucune means not a single one, none at all. Ne ni means neither nor. In English, we usually say or, even if it's negative, but generally, technically, you're supposed to use neither nor if it is negative. Ne nulle part, nowhere, ne personne, no one, ne plus, no more, ne que, only, none except. Ne rien, nothing. When you use a negative expression around a verb, the ones that were on the previous slide, you're going to put ne before the verb and the second part after the verb, just like you do with ne pas. But here's where it is a little bit different. These verbs that I just listed previously, if it's a two-verb sentence, conjugated plus infinitive, or if the verb is in a compound tense, the ne goes before the conjugated or helping verb, which is true of all of them. But the second part goes after the infinitive or past participle, which is different. There are some exceptions to this, and I will explain those as we go through. Ne aucun or aucune. This expression must be followed by a singular noun. The word aucun must agree with the noun. So if you're talking about a masculine noun, you use aucun, but if it's a feminine noun, you are going to use aucune. For example, je n'ai aucune idée. I have no idea. I have not a single idea in my head about whatever it is you want me to have an idea about. Je n'ai aucune idée. Because idée is feminine, so is aucune. This is a very common expression in French, and when you hear someone say it, you often don't hear the ne. You just hear j'ai aucune idée. Or sometimes they just cut off the entire first part and say aucune idée. No idea. Aucune idée. Nous n'avons appelé aucune personne. So aucune, again, with personne, because personne is feminine, aucune is also feminine. This means we didn't call a single person. We didn't call anybody. And again, here you can see this is the passé composé, the ne in front of the helping verb, but then we go ahead and we put the past participle in before we put aucune. Ne ni. When using this expression, ni should come immediately before both of your options. Je ne mangerai ni des oignons ni des champignons. I would eat neither onions nor mushrooms. In English, we would say I wouldn't eat onions or mushrooms. But in French, you cannot use or, you cannot use the word or, which is ou. You cannot use it in the negative. In the negative, you put ne before the verb, and then you put ni before the options that are negative. Nous n'avons voyagé ni en Australie ni au Mexique. We've traveled to neither Australia nor Mexico. Again, in English, we would say we haven't traveled to Australia or Mexico. But if the verb is negative and you have two options, you have to put ni before each one. Also notice here, this is the passé composé, and you have both parts of the passé composé before you have ni. Ne nulle part. Je ne chercherai nulle part. I wouldn't look anywhere. I would look nowhere. Nous ne sommes allés nulle part. We didn't go anywhere. We went nowhere. So again, passé composé, you have the whole thing, ne in front and nulle part afterward. Ne personne. This expression is often used with prepositions like à or pour. These prepositions should come before personne. For example, je ne parlerai à personne. There's your preposition à before personne. I wouldn't talk to anyone, or I would talk to no one. Nous n'avons regardé personne. We haven't looked at anyone. And again, the entire passé composé before your second part. We looked at no one. Personne can also be the subject of a sentence. In this case, the ne still comes before the verb, and the verb is conjugated in the il, elle, yel, on form. Personne ne parlerait. So you have personne first because it's the subject, then ne before the verb, and the verb conjugated in the il, elle, yel, on form. No one would talk. Personne n'a vu le film. No one saw the movie. So again, personne is the subject. It comes first, then ne, then the verb. Ne plus. Je ne parlerai plus. I wouldn't talk anymore, or I would talk no more. Nous n'avons plus regardé la télé. We didn't watch the TV anymore, or we watched the TV no more. This is an exception. In the compound tense, the passé composé, the que comes after, the plus comes after the helping verb, okay? So, nous n'avons plus regardé la télé, ne before the helping verb, then plus, then your past participle, like ne pas and ne jamais. Ne que. When using this expression, que should come immediately before the unique option. Je ne parlerai français que dans le cours de français. I would speak French only in French class. So here, the unique option is in French class, only in French class. So ne before the verb, always, and then que comes before in French class. But nous n'avons parlé que français dans le cours de français. Now, the only difference here, I did change the conjugation of the verb, but the difference really is where the que is. So here we spoke only French in French class. Why? French is the unique part, so que comes before French. So the first sentence indicates the only time I speak French is French class. The second sentence indicates we spoke only French in French class. We didn't speak English or any other language in French class. Ne rien. Je ne ferai rien. I wouldn't do anything. I would do nothing. And again, ne, then verb, then rien. Nous n'avons rien mangé. We didn't eat anything. We ate nothing. This one works like ne pas and ne jamais. In the compound tense, the passé composé, the rien comes after the helping verb. Nous n'avons rien mangé. So ne, then helping verb, then rien, then past participle. Rien can also be the subject of a sentence. In this case, the ne still comes before the verb. The verb is conjugated in the il, elle, yell, on form. Rien ne serait meilleur. Nothing would be better. So rien comes first because it's the subject, nothing, then ne, then the verb, then the rest of the sentence. And the verb is conjugated in the il, elle, yell, on form. Rien ne s'est passé. Nothing happened. Again, rien first because nothing is the subject, then ne, then the verb, and the verb conjugated in the il, elle, yell, on form. So let's take a moment and talk about the vocabulary when you are talking about the negative expressions and their affirmative counterparts. Toujours, meaning always. Also déjà, meaning already. The expression négative, the opposite, is jamais, meaning never. Tout, meaning all, and aucun, meaning not a single one, are also opposites. Both tout and aucun need to agree with their counterpart, with the noun that they are describing. Now, tout has multiple options because it can be masculine, feminine, singular, plural. But aucun only has a masculine and feminine option because it means not a single one. You're never going to make aucun or qu'une plural. Ou, meaning or, ni, meaning nor. And do remember that you should be seeing ni more than once in your sentence because it goes before each option, where ou only goes between options. Quelque part means somewhere. Nulle part, nowhere. Quelqu'un, someone. Personne, no one. Encore, still. Also, toujours can mean still. So notice there are two definitions of toujours. It can mean always or it can mean still. The expression négative is plus, meaning no more. Quelque chose, something. Rien, nothing. Plusieurs, several. Que, only. And remember that all of these expressions négatives are going to have ne before the expression. So it would be ne verb expression when you're using it in a sentence. And remember that personne and rien can be the subject of a sentence as well. So I hope this helps. There is a little bit of practice if you would like to do that.